And here we are. Oh, we're X-less.
Oh, well.
And they're minus our money, which is fine. They'll survive somehow, don't you think?
Yeah, he might have to put one less sticker on his rocket. He might have to make his rockets less pointy, because, to be honest, they don't need to be.
Are you being blunt?
Yeah. Apparently they don't need to be so pointy, but he wanted them pointy. A bit like that film with Sacha Baron Cohen, and he's like, I want it pointy. I think he just watched that the night before.
I remember. Let's bring this guy on.
We're not live on X, but we will post it later. So
yes.
Either way, it'll go on there. Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. Here you go.
Shane.
Whoa.
Evening.
Evening, sir. Well, nice. What a day things have been. I mean, Ireland. Wow. Things are really hotting up over there.
Not happy, are they?
No, not at all. And I think it's also kicking off in France as well, in sympathy.
What's new there, eh?
It's kicking off there. I think all these socialist governments throughout Europe are now, I think they're beginning to get the message, you know, and you have to say, how long does it take for somebody to realize that nobody wants them? Nobody needs them. We never asked for them.
Well, we're about 200 years into the whole socialism bollocks, and they're still not getting it. So maybe another 200 years, I don't know.
It doesn't work. I'm sorry. And also, the Great Replacement, well, I think everybody's had enough of that shit as well. No?
Well,
but anyway.
Apart from the people coming to replace us, obviously. But yeah.
Well, yes. But anyway, let's start off with a bit of a laugh, okay? And how about this? Jesus is back, and this guy is smashing it. Look at this. He's a swimmer. Did you know that?
Did he do the breaststroke? Oh my God! Go! Oh, he smashed it there, hasn't he?
No way! Bro ran a sub.
How about this?
It's one way of doing it, I suppose, isn't it?
He came back. He's had his Easter eggs. He's been in and he's just thought, you know, I'm just going to show a few people, show off a little bit. How about this? Shop window funny.
So I've just seen a sign in a shop saying I would rather have 1,000 illegal immigrants in my shop than one British soldier. And fucking funeral director's got a cracking sense of humour.
And everybody, I think I'm going straight to hell for this one. Check this out.
Yep, special place in hell for you. Remember, I never pressed play on that button.
I'm gonna assure it now. Look at this. This is kung fu, but not as you know it.
What a shot.
I'm definitely going to hell. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough of the funnies. That's enough of the funnies. What do you want? You can have a word of the day, history, bit of wisdom. What would you like? Do you want a bit of nicey history?
No, word of the day, please.
Word of the day. Okay, here we go.
We'll get a choice.
Right. Okay, yes. Fuck dust, dictum, subitious, nafruta, okay, But I think we've already had poolologist, haven't we? Or have we? I can't remember.
Yeah, we done the. Yeah, I chose that over. What was the dick one? I thought you'd have something along those lines.
The word of the day is
Yeah, we've had this one.
poologist.
Yeah, we
A
have.
per-
Yeah.
We've had that one. Okay, so
Was it one dictum or something?
you want dictum? Okay,
Seems
here
to
we
do
go.
like dictum, we'll go for that.
Dictum. Here we go. Dictum.
The word of the day is dictim. It's a person who acts like a dick, then acts like a victim about it.
These words are absolutely boss, aren't they? That
They're
one, I am having that
true.
one. Everyone's an arse badger recently, but we're having dictum as well. Yeah,
Well, listen, okay.
dictum. I love that.
Seem as though I'm over 60, and I won't say how far over. 72.
I don't think
But-
you need to.
Here's some discounts for the over 60s in England.
Over 60, did you know you could be claiming all these discounts? Number 1, a senior rail card. This costs £35 for 1 year and £80 for 3 years and gives over 60s a third off standard or first class anytime, off-peak and advanced rail fares. You can also get a free bus pass at state pension age in England and at 60 in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, Merseyside and London, where you also get free off-peak rail, tube and tram travel. Second, you get free prescriptions when you turn 60 if you live in England. They're free for everyone elsewhere in the UK. And you'll be entitled to free dental treatment if you're receiving the pension guarantee credit. For culture lovers, most museums offer concessions for senior citizens, like the Beamish Living Museum in County Durham, or some exhibits here at the British Museum. Over 60s can request 25% off a National Trust membership if you've been a member for at least 3 consecutive years. And if you're 65 or over, you can get a discounted Senior English Heritage membership. If you're a film buff, some cinemas hold regular discounted screenings for those in the older age bracket, and they might even throw in a free hot drink and a snack. If theatre's more your thing, the National Theatre offers discounted seats to midweek matinee performances for the over 60s, while the Royal Shakespeare Company also offers 20% discount for over 65s to some midweek performances. Lots of other theatres across the UK also offer concessions, so check to see if they're available near you. And finally, for sports fans, typically those aged 65 and over can get access to discounted matchday and season tickets to football, rugby and cricket matches. Don't forget to follow us for more.
Okay, so there you go. Right, but did you notice something?
Well, I noticed you didn't play the video with what all the illegal migrants get, because this podcast's only normally an hour or so we wouldn't have enough time for that. So I don't know what did I miss.
The one thing that everybody missed was that you can only get free prescriptions normally after the age of 60. But everywhere else in the country, it's free. And we're paying for that. So you have to pay for your prescriptions. For most people, that's it. Okay? So anyway, on to some of the serious stuff. And I believe we have some issues to do with ADHD, white working class boys and stuff like that. Can I bring something up for you, sir, to comment?
Well, can we have the council one first, please?
Yes.
Otherwise, none of this will make any sense.
Here we go.
Oh, damn, I can't read that. Let me get it on my phone. I can put my glasses on, mate, and I still wouldn't see that. Let me make this a bit bigger. That's better. So this is another... We love these strategies, don't we? The councils, I mean, have they actually ever made any previous strategies successful? Because you never really hear the outcomes, do you? There's just another one.
No.
I mean, this is the new youth strategy, 26 to 30.
Can't they even use a capital for new? Capital N.
Couldn't be bothered, mate. Would they? I mean, I'm all for helping the youth. I'm just not sure they're hitting the actual points with this. But anyway, so it's a new youth strategy setting out a bold and inclusive vision. This is for our local council, Cheshire West and Chester, across the borough, obviously, Following the engagement with over 500 young people, parents, carers, and youth organisations, the strategy presents a clear commitment to ensure every young person can thrive regardless of background, postcode, or circumstance. Anyway, apparently all the challenges the kids have been facing was COVID-19. Yeah, 'cause that was their fault. Cost of living and mental health pressures. So I want to look at, there's three major areas for the strategy, but I'm just going to concentrate on number one, and we'll be here all day. And that's the well-being, inclusion, and safe spaces. Anyway,
Okay.
carrying
Okay.
on. So mental health emerged as the top priority with 35%, that's over a third of young people reporting anxiety, depression, or well-being concerns. And a
Jesus
strong
Christ.
desire for, I mean, I've spoken to lots of young people, and a strong desire for safe, inclusive spaces. Not really in desire, but particularly for SEND and the LGBTQ. Right.
LMNOP.
Now, I've got a few issues with this. SEND, yes, all behind that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But aren't they a bit late with this one, John?
I would have said so. Yes.
I'm not being funny. We had a group on and the podcast, and we're going back a couple of years now. There's been protests outside the council buildings over the
Yep.
state of the SEND in this area. So never mind your woke safe spaces. Kids need their SEND plans. So I think you should sort that mess out first. Again, it's like, yay, you know, let's give ourselves a pat on the back for fixing the problem we've caused. But I don't even think you've actually fixed it yet, which is it's even worse. So my opinion here, John, is there again focusing on, you know, the usual identities rather than looking at the bigger picture. So I want to ask, out of 500 people, now, is it all children? Because it does say carers and youth organisers.
Mm-hmm.
The focus is SEND and the LGBT plus blah, 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 is it? Minority of the population? Or is this in line with what I call their obsessive ideological disorder? What do you think?
I think the latter.
So let's look at the bigger picture, because I think it's important to actually look at this properly. So why are 35% of children got some kind of anxiety or depression? What is the concern? I don't know. Is it maybe perhaps being told, especially boys, that there's something wrong with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we've seen massive rises, or so they say rises, in conditions such as ADHD, specifically with boys. And there's autism. Now, this government commission review actually backs a lot of the stuff I've said over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and hints at financial incentives. I'm not going to go into detail now because we'll be here all day, but I can actually vouch for this on a personal level on a lot of what I'm saying now. This is why this is close to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, it's also this perception of this toxic masculinity as well. Do you know what I mean? Which it didn't originate from feminists, by the way, John. It was actually coined by someone in the 80s called, what was his name? Shepard Bliss.
All right. Okay.
And he was a psychology professor and writer. He was associated with poetic men's movement. Yeah, sounds great. But obviously the feminists jumped all over this in the 2010s, as did the rest of the woke tards, and pushed in the trans and the gender, and this was pushed as well. So they ran with it hard. My experience does tell me that there is this rings true. But so why are boys struggling? Why do the boys seem to be a problem, do you think? Well, if you want to guess, if not, I can sum it up.
Go ahead.
And this is my opinion, but it's also backed by quite a lot of studies. So researchers actually argue that schools may unintentionally disadvantage boys because behaviours common among boys, like high energy, like humour, rough play, aggression, it's not always negative, are often interpreted as disruption. Oh, I can vouch for this, because the kids now get so much more grief for their behaviour than when I was younger. So the studies also suggest teachers have more conflict and less closeness with boys, John. And this can actually influence how classmates see them, you know, viewing them negatively.
Yeah.
So remember, like, the class clown used to be like probably one of the more, I don't know, popular people in the classroom. It's changed now. They're seen as being disruptive, and this leads to the boys' social status can decline. That's pretty bad, and they
I
just
get it.
get labelled troublemakers, don't they, for behaviour that is actually masculine.
Yeah.
So I think the argument, instead of asking what's wrong with boys, we should be asking whether the schools are set up in a way that interpret normal behaviour from boys. You know, this old, and I've heard it myself. It's shut up, behave. Why can't you act like the girls? I don't know. Take some drugs. That's better. Problem solved. Do you know what I mean? Rather than what I've been trying to suggest for years is get more males to teach the boys who understand them and can be role models, John, and handle these traits positively.
Absolutely.
But what do they normally
Channel
do? They
them.
normally,
Channel them.
You've got to the aggression and the humour and the boisterousness. It's got to be channeled, and then you can push them down a positive route. But rather than that, John, they want to find the bogeyman, don't they? They want to find the excuse
That's
for all
the
this.
lefty way.
But it's just a deflection from their own behaviour. So let's find someone. I don't know, Andrew Tate. It's all his fault. Yeah, all right. He chats some crap, doesn't he, John? To be honest, some total.
He does. He does.
But he's not responsible for this. So
No.
I think they need to look a little bit closer to home, like possibly in the mirror. But it looks more virtuous and it's easier, isn't it, to deal with the symptoms rather than the actual disease.
A lot of these teachers that are, accusing these kids of toxic masculinity are very effeminate themselves, and they haven't got the bollocks to actually put them in their place.
Some are, and a lot of them just get offended on other people's behalf who aren't even.
Yeah.
No, never mind in the room, probably aren't even in the same town. And as we see there, the boys with British ancestry are the ones struggling the most academically. So, I mean, that's probably got multi-factors. Like, you could include what we've just discussed, and you could probably say, I don't know, having their identities removed as others are pushed really hard is probably taking its toll on them. So,
do they blame the parents? Because I feel that you're coming to you're rounding this up because I've got something to go on to.
Yeah, I can do a little segue to that then. No, I'm just, normally as part of my previous election campaigns, John, I've made indoctrination one of my key principles, but I think I'm going to extend this now to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
They've got to be the priority, and they're our future. I mean, I understand it's probably out of the remit of a councillor to drastically change the education system. But if
it is of a Labour councillor, yeah.
Well, yeah, but if these local councils can pull out all this bonkers trans guidance whenever they feel like it, then surely I could raise awareness or attempt to get the ball rolling or something.
Yeah.
CWAC, Cheshire West and Chester Council throw everything at this climate crisis they've invented. So why not do the same for our children instead, actually, which I think are more the future than if the planet's going to boil next summer or the summer after or thousands of years down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think children, again, will be the priority of any election campaign if I start next year. So parents, are they to blame?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy to ignore all this, but I could go into detail and say if you fight it hard, sometimes you can actually discover that it's not what the schools say, and the doctors will back you up. But parents to blame, I don't know. What about Axel Ruder-Cabana? Is that where you were going?
Funny you should say that. Check this out.
Well, let's get reaction to the big stories of the day. Don't forget, Lord David Frost live in the studio at 1:30. But with me now, the former editor of the Sunday Express, a titan of Fleet Street, now, of course, leader writer and columnist at The Sun, David Wooding. Hello, David.
Good afternoon, Mark.
Really good to see you. So much to get through. Starmer, Trump, the Boris wave. But can we start with this developing story? The Southport attack would not have happened if the killer's parents had done what they morally ought to have done. So this, of course, was the appalling triple murder of 3 little girls at a Taylor Swift dance class. And it's a tragedy. It's a story that has, divided our political elite. Your reaction to this news?
Well, it's the old story that we hear about kids who go off the beaten track. I blame the parents, and in fact, what the inquiry chairman has done today is to say he blames his parents completely. He does blame the establishment, the social services and Prevent for not doing enough, but nevertheless he's putting a heavy burden on the parents here, who, remember that there was a bit of a sob story from them. We couldn't control our boy. He was buying knives. They were coming in through mail order. Well,
okay. Yeah, come on. Are the parents now a scapegoat for this little bastard.
They are to blame. They do hold responsibility for this because let's face it, they've allowed swords, knives, ricin, him to plan this whole jihadi style attack, and they sounded weak when they were explaining. Oh, we just couldn't stop him. His dad was like, it used to be a soldier and was like highly skilled in martial arts. You telling me he had no discipline and no control over his son, who was a little skinny whippet? Sorry, not having that, John, at all. They knew far more than they let on, and they should have done something about it. But again, they did alert authorities to some things, and this today says that they are also to blame. But you see the focus seems to be on the parents. Okay, we can easily fix this. Back to Rwanda you go. Ta-da, see you later. And then you deal with, right, which organisations let them down? Prevent, okay, well, Prevent's not preventing anything. Bye-bye, see you later. Because all we've had is problems with that.
Yeah.
When they're sniffing around, the disadvantaged young English kids who are struggling at school and giving them all more grief and calling them all far right and racist. When they're literally dropping the ball on a lot of the jihadis and this Ruda Khabana, who was, all right, it was difficult to tell whether he was fully into Islam at the time, but he was definitely inspired by the way they kill people, hence the beheadings, the ricin, the way it was done. Again, this is multi-factors, which no one's really going to take seriously, are they? How many of these reviews and reports and inquiries have we had before? I mean, we still haven't really got closure on Hillsborough, the post office, the blood scandal, all these things, John.
All of them. I mean, it's disgusting.
It's going to go on forever, mate, until we
post
stop.
office, the waspy women.
Until there's accountability, or we stop certain types of people from coming
in,
country, then it's never going to end, is it? In certain ideologies, but
yes, this is the truth. I mean, get rid of them. Get rid.
I mean, what punishment can the parents have? You're not going to put them in jail, so I think maybe it's time, if they've got citizenship, to strip them of it and send them back to where they came from.
Get rid of them.
Unfortunately, and might sound harsh, but it will be a warning. The authorities probably need to take more of a share of the blame here, because they're the ones who proclaim to be preventing stuff.
Well, that's what the whole point of prevent is.
And to prevent and protect us. It's not, though, is it? It's not working, is it?
Not working. Well, carrying on the theme about youngsters, and, let's just say that here's Nick Ferrari absolutely slating one of the Labour ministers. Right. He was
I don't know why they bother going on these shows, John.
It's merciless.
But some of them are just...
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go.
Punishment. Go on.
The government is committed to introducing parity and fairness.
You've been committed to 14 other things, but there have been U-turns, haven't there?
Oh, Nick, this is about us listening and ensuring that we get policies right.
No, it's not. It's about you not... I mean, why doesn't the Prime Minister have a new website? It's not me.gov.uk. He seems to blame everyone else but himself.
This is about ensuring that young people have fairness and parity. This was a commitment to us, and we are still determined to deliver this. This is about ensuring good quality jobs, highly skilled jobs. I was with the Prime Minister just yesterday in my own patch in Pontypridd, so this gives me an opportunity to plug that.
Go ahead.
About meeting, young people, apprentices who have got, incredible opportunities now, thanks to this Labour government, investing in them and showing them that there is an alternative way.
1 in 8 young people is unemployed. We have the highest level of youth unemployment across the whole of Europe.
We have created hundreds of thousands of new jobs since we came into power.
950,000.
That's
They're all depressed, told to hate themselves.
They are all depressed. You're absolutely right.
Told to hate themselves, and they're all unemployed with no future. No chance of getting a house. They could get a family, but can they afford to have children and move out? And she's like, oh, great opportunities. Whatever, love. Honestly, I say this all the time, but do these people just lie to themselves? Because nobody else believes him. He's sitting there taking the absolute piss out of her, and she's just like, oh, that carries on.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I know, oblivious. She doubles down. All right, listen, it's got about 30 seconds left. Check this out.
People are in NEETs, not in education, employment and training.
And we need to do something about that.
Are you looking at figures that I haven't seen?
No, but I will tell you that we have created hundreds of thousands of new jobs since we've come into office. But what we need to do is do more, Nick. We're not sitting on our laurels and saying that that's it.
250,000 jobs have gone in the hospitality sector since Labour came to power.
What we need to do is do more, go further, go faster, but create more opportunities for our young people with higher skills, higher opportunities, better growth. Those apprentices that I met yesterday were telling me these are the type of jobs and opportunities that they need, and that is what the Labour government is investing in.
I don't know.
It's just unbelievable that they can even spout those words and come over, yeah, we believe everything that we're saying. That's just incredible.
The thing is, they just don't look like they believe it. Look at her face. It's like, I don't care what you're saying, Mr. Skoda. I mean, sorry, Ferrari. Sorry, I still can't get him being a COVID Nazi out my head, but he is funny for a COVID Nazi. It's just don't care what you're saying. I've got to spout my positive verbiage because people need to vote for me. It doesn't matter if it's bollocks or not.
Well, everything at the moment that's coming out is there are two things. It's about the economy and about what Trump is doing. But, here's the 5 main UK taxes.
Here are the 5 main taxes in the UK that bring in the government the most revenue, and I think the top one might absolutely shock you. So at number 5 on the list is council tax, which brings in the government around £50 billion every single year. Then you've got corporation tax, which brings in the government around about £100 billion, so double that of council tax. Then at 3rd place, you've got VAT, so this is essentially the sales tax that you pay on goods and services, and is usually charged around 20%, but there are some goods and services where this rate is lower. So for example, children's clothes are taxed at 5%, and some things are completely exempt, like food and groceries in a supermarket. And now this brings in the government around £180 billion of tax every year. Then at number 2, you've got national insurance, which brings in the government about £200 billion in taxes. But way ahead of all these other taxes is income tax, which brings in the government a whopping £330 billion in taxes every single year.
There you go. And the welfare bill has exceeded the income tax, which is the number one, supposedly the number one. And this is out of date now because welfare, right, they said 330 billion for income tax. The welfare bill is 334 billion a year.
It is. But it is a caveat, like I mentioned, 178 billion is pensions. Okay. Might not sound as bad then, but we've got an aging population with millions and millions and millions flooding into the country. So I think even immigrants get old, don't they, John?
Yeah.
Not only is the welfare
massive problem.
Increase, not only are the benefits going to increase, but so's the pensions. And I reckon you're going to see that number within a decade or two, probably close to double, won't you?
Well, and this is
a little guesstimation now. We'll see that happen.
Where's the money going to come from? Here's Jacob Rees-Mogg on making tax digital.
Hasn't Keir Starmer got a tree in his garden and he just pulls it off?
Magic money tree. Check this
Rachel
out.
Reeves has got one too.
Don't.
She's got a bush. She's got a money
Tax
bush.
digital is a government scam. It's an effort to bully, bash and damage small businesses, entrepreneurs, and particularly, obviously, the sole traders who are the majority of small businesses and who are the putative entrepreneurs. I'm one of them, as it happens. I will be hit by this personally. And it's absolute government scam. It is bureaucracy gone wild. And the Inland Revenue, HMRC, is wildly incompetent. The idea that HMRC will be good enough to make tax digital actually work is for the birds. Speak to people who've been applying for VAT numbers and 2 years later still haven't got them. Speak to people who try and ring HMRC and cannot get through on the telephone. Speak to people waiting for refunds from HMRC that don't get paid. HMRC is incompetent, it's badly run, it's a massive, inefficient bureaucracy. If you want a piece of advice, if you've got difficulties with HMRC, write to your Member of Parliament MPs are pretty good at getting answers from HMRC. It prioritises correspondence to them, but otherwise it treats the run-of-the-mill taxpayer appallingly, and is now, in this dreadful scam, going to make taxpayers' lives worse.
Right. Now, everybody that earns over 50,000 is going to have to register and hand in these figures. So it is just more bureaucracy to tackle the business. Now, is this the socialists trying to kill entrepreneurialism?
Of course it is, because what's their worldview? The rich shouldn't have all the money. It should be distributed equally between everyone. But as I said to you yesterday, they don't think through their ideology properly and comprehend what happens when the wealthy people have had enough and you've stripped them of all their money. Look, you could strip all the billionaires in Britain of all their assets, right, John, but it wouldn't even fund the government budget for a year.
Yeah, not at all.
So these people have got retarded thinking, because the consequences are dire when you drive away the wealthy, because they all see it as this class struggle where all these people were born into money. That's not true. A lot of these people have worked hard.
Yeah.
And they've grafted all their life and built businesses. And what does that do? It gives other people jobs. It puts money into the economy.
Yep.
If you strip all them away, who are you taxing?
Well, here's you've just hit the nail on the head. Here's trigonometry. Okay. Here's trigonometry, and they're claiming that the UK economy is in free fall.
How many of them are going to stick around if that happens? If we get these kind of taxation, if we get this kind of politics come in, we're essentially going to return to the 1970s, where the top rate of tax was 90% for the highest earners.
I actually don't mind paying 50% tax to live in a country with good infrastructure, with safety, with good schools, with good healthcare, with a functioning government, etc. But we don't have any of those things anymore. And we're getting poorer all the time. And now you want to bring in people who are going to make things a lot worse. On top of that, if you are the head of a household, you would not be responsible in keeping your family in that situation if you had the option to have them somewhere else. To say nothing about the fact that obviously, as you've just discussed, the problem of Islamist terrorism, but just integration more broadly, is very acute in Britain in a way that it's not remotely like this in the US and in many other parts of the world. You put all that together, this has the potential, this conflict, if it goes badly, has the potential to make worse things that are already very bad for people in Britain and for the country itself.
Well, I can't argue with that.
I can only argue, I keep arguing with is them silly words they use. I'm just going to quickly brush over it and say, look, Muhammad didn't invent Islamism. Jihad was part of Islam. So anyway, I'm moving on.
Okay, well, here's a commentary. Well, it's because this is accelerated so much, and these socialist governments have caused so many problems. Ireland have gone apeshit. And they literally, here's a commentary on what's going on. Here we go.
They have, haven't they?
Well, isn't it great to watch what's happening in the south? You know, when they decide to deploy the army against a people, that the government is essentially finished. I watched Michael Harris on RTE talking about moving the protesters. He's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to do the other. He'll do nothing because they simply don't have the ability to do anything, and they know it. So stand firm, lads. Now, Northern Ireland has its own protest next week then, apparently. I'll talk a wee bit about that in a minute. On the south, though, it's not really a fuel protest anymore, is it? It's turned into a full-scale revolution about everything. The working people down there have been beaten down by an extreme socialist government that takes almost everything from them and throws it all away on welfare and foreigners and any other manner of nonsense that you can imagine. So well done to you all. I hope you stick it out long enough to have your demands met, or hopefully overthrow your government for the good of all the hard-working people in the Republic and set a precedent to the rest of Europe, most of who are also living under oppressive socialist governments. Remember, your government can end this with immediate effect by simply agreeing to stop robbing the people. And it's exactly the same in Northern Ireland and across the whole of the United Kingdom. Our taxes are decided in London, but we have a corrupt, lunatic civil service slowly bankrupting our country. pretending to work from home, draining society, all lining their own pockets with mega pensions that the private sector could only dream of. Money to spend on every conceivable thing apart from what is right for the people who are the backbone of the country. We've endless career politicians dreaming up more and more ways to waste our hard-earned pounds on socialist welfare schemes, foreign wars, foreign aid, illegal foreigners, constant new economy-breaking policies, and only a handful of elected politicians with the balls to stand up and hold them to account. We as farmers have had a lot of first-hand experience of this in recent months.
So, you know, he's speaking for so many people. So many. And everybody is literally at that trigger point now. Everybody's got to understand. You cannot, in these local elections, you cannot vote for Labour, Liberal, Conservative, or
Hypnotits.
That's the guy. You can't vote for them. You just got to make a choice. You know, I don't know what Restore are going to do. I don't know. Reform are going to be the most organized. They're going to have the most people there. You know, so you're just going to have to, you know, in certain cases, you know, the intelligent people have got to hold their noses and vote Reform. Because, you know, there is no two ways about it. You've got to get these people out, because if you don't, I'm not saying that Reform are going to be better, but what I am saying is they're going to be, it's the lesser of two evils. You cannot keep on voting these people in, because they're going to kill you in the end. If they don't get you with the taxes, they're going to get it with the Great Reset. You know, it's just too much now, too much.
There should be a wake-up for our country especially, because what's happened to Ireland is what's happening to us, but it's just been accelerated. They've got some of the highest fuel prices in Europe, and that's due to their carbon tax, their tax on their fuel being. Well, we said ours was just over 30. Theirs is 50 to 60% of the pump price.
Wow. Well, the Irish government...
Before you do, they are fully independent. No, because I'm just going to make a point that we're not yet, but they're fully independent on refined oil. So they have to import it all, right? So as I say, this should be a lesson. They've actually got reserves. Let me see, where was it? It was called the Barry Row oil field off the coast of County Cork. In the Celtic Sea.
Yeah.
Estimates it holds around 1.6 billion barrels of oil in place. So roughly 300 to 311 million barrels recoverable using current technology. It could, just that one field, theoretically, supply the country's needs for 5 to 6 years. I mean, that'd alleviate some problems, wouldn't it?
Oh, God, yeah.
They are so stuck in this suicidal empathy, this whole climate nonsense, that they will not budge. To the point, they won't listen to the people who are struggling, like he's just gone through. And it's not just that. It's obviously there's Iran, and now he's saying it's kind of turned into a kick-off about everything, basically. They're not listening, just send the army in. Deal with the symptoms, again, not the disease. Well, obviously
you know,
not, 'cause
I'm
they're
telling
the
you,
disease.
if Michael Collins were about, I'm telling you now, there would be blood. There would be blood. And here's the Irish government. And you can't believe, wait till you see who's actually doing the savaging of this government. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Right?
You have the cheek to come in here with a package of half measures and expect the people to be grateful. Well, it's too little, too late. Petrol and diesel prices have soared. Workers, depending on their cars to get to work, to bring children to school, to care for their loved ones, they needed the maximum reductions at the pumps tonight. You had it within your power to deliver it, but you refused. And when it comes to home heating oil, your failure is even more stark. And what do you offer tonight? 2 cents per litre. 2 cents per litre. That isn't support. That's an insult. An absolute insult. Because the vast majority who rely on home heating oil don't even qualify for the fuel allowance. These are people who cannot cut back any further because there is nothing left to cut. So don't come in here and try to pretend that this is government simply helping the people, because it isn't. Because when it comes to the crunch, and we all know this in this side of the House, when it comes to the crunch, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael always make the same choices. Hoard the surplus, protect the banks, and leave ordinary people to fend for themselves. Well, tonight we're putting forward an alternative. We're putting forward a different choice because Sinn Féin actually listens to people. And our amendment will deliver the maximum reduction on diesel, the same reduction on petrol, and will remove completely excise duty for home heating oil, an oil that has nearly doubled in the space of 4 weeks, and you plan to increase the tax in a couple of weeks' time because people can't wait. We're going to stand with workers tonight. We're going to stand with families tonight, and we're not going to back down. And people deserve far better. So the question tonight is, were you going to continue to insult people with half measures, or are you going to finally act and deliver the support that they need?
Wow. Now that's Sinn Féin.
Yeah,
It's
but at the
against-
same time, they're all for, replacing the Irish people. So, I mean, work Sinn Féin out.
Well, at the moment, they're singing from the proper hymn sheets.
Yeah,
they're singing the same tune as the people.
Yeah, a lot of people do that only when they're...
Yeah, but Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are killing the people. That's why all those people are out. So,
hey, not only
lesser
that,
of two evils again.
It seems like this is even worse because they've listened to the problem and then they've pretended to do something about it. And they just took the piss out of them and gone, what, 2 cents?
Yeah.
It's like, you've listened, you've acted, but you've basically stuck 2 fingers up at us and said, get lost. This is all you're having.
I mean, what the hell do these people think that they are personally gaining from making people suffer? What are they gaining? What are they? Are they sadists?
Yeah, it's this suicidal empathy. They're seen as the righteous ones who are saving the planet with their lovely taxes.
Oh, they can
while
kiss
everyone
it.
fucking starves to death and goes hungry and can't. And
Well, for the
they've got
first
problem because they're solely reliant on it, mate. And
well, for the
is why we
first
need
time,
to talk
I've
about
heard the church, and I'm not. Well, at the moment, I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo, but okay, here's a nun. And listen to what she's got to say. She'd probably be speaking your language. I think you'd get on very well with her.
I want to ask you something.
swear
Have you ever read Bunreacht na hÉireann, the Irish Constitution, the document that every single person in power in this country is bound by, the document that exists not to protect the government but to protect you? Most people have never read it, and I think that is exactly how those in power prefer it. So today I want to change that. Because right now, as we watch our government coerce protesters, mismanage billions, and ignore the people who elected them, I want you to know what that document actually says. Article 6. All powers of government derive from the people of Ireland, not from Brussels, not from Washington, from you. The government does not grant you rights. You grant them power, and what is granted can be taken back. Article 40. The personal rights of every citizen must be protected by the state. Your right to live with dignity, your right not to be crushed by the cost of existing in your own country. Article 45. The state shall direct its policy towards securing that citizens may through their occupations find the means of making reasonable provisions for their domestic needs. In plain English, the government has a duty to ensure you can afford to live, to heat your home, to fill your tank, to feed your family. These are not suggestions, these are not aspirations, these are the principles this government swore to uphold.
Okay. Go ahead.
Again, I'm going to sound like I'm repeating myself a lot. But one, obviously, same as our constitution, was probably the inspiration for theirs and many others across the world. But reading something isn't going to fix it. A piece of paper or words on a website doesn't fix the problem. You've got to fight for the Constitution. It gives people a reason to fight. And if people don't read it, they've got no reason. So yeah, read it. But don't just read it. That isn't good enough on its own.
Enforce it.
For it. You've got to fight to enforce it. But this is the problem. They are pretty meaningless unless people fight for them.
Okay.
But it just shows over history kind of what the plan's been and what everyone's fought for, and fight for it.
It's nice though for
saying stuff, love, and go and fight for it. That's what you should be doing. Well, she's
it's
trying.
nice. It's nice that somebody is actually standing up and saying, "Look, it's your right. You have a right to defend yourself." And there's nobody better than Douglas Murray to actually state it.
The British public should not endlessly be putting up with being insulted and defamed. And my belief is that we have the right to stand up for our traditions and a right to stand up for our holy places and our holy days. And that the situation we're in is that if anyone does say we must, if people are going to threaten to attack the cenotaph, we should defend it, people will say the people who defend it are far-right extremists. By the way, something they would never say against the people, the other way round, who would deface the cenotaph. So, we have been transformed as a society into an incredibly febrile, low-trust society.
There you go. Now, I mean, why is it? I mean, we've got to fight for it, as you've said. We've got to fight for it. And who is actually...
They are.
Go on.
Sorry, they are an island, aren't they?
They are. And also,
Okay.
it's kicking off in France. And it is going to... It's infectious.
It is. The problem with constitutions is that they all sound nice in theory with the words, but we've got to redefine them and have punishments for unconstitutional behaviour.
Yeah.
Because it's great. It's all good and well saying, oh, we've got this in there and we've got that in there. Okay, America had one with the Second Amendment where you can have arms. Right, or was it the first? Either way, right? There's certain places in America you can't have arms. Well, hang on a minute. Your constitution says you can, though. So what's all that about? Because there's no consequences when someone just erases it or amends it or ignores it. There's never any consequences, is there? If you drop litter, there's consequences.
Yeah.
There is guidance. There's your punishment. This is what, and there's what the judges use. You know what I mean? The sentencing guidance. I think, like I said, with my new Bill of Rights, I would tie it all together. Everyone who worked for the state would be under an oath. All those oaths are tied to a constitution, which would be tied to punishments for breaking it.
Well, there is a day of reckoning coming.
And then the public have a mechanism to enact this constitutional punishment, so to speak, and it's paid for by the state with some money that we've been spaffing up the wall on the history of the gay porn Europe built and all that shit and trannies in Peru and all that bollocks. Do you know what I mean? There's just billions spaffed up the wall and it should be spent on fixing this country.
Well, we cannot have a cast without mentioning this guy. And
he's here.
Oh no.
Straight to the crown, the verdict's here. The evidence that the truth is clear. No trial too soft, no jail too tight. The soldier birthright in broad daylight. Stand up, Brits, the jury's spoken. This kingdom will not be left broken.
We've got Trey Yinks with us now from Tel Aviv. So, Trey, what can you tell us about this Truth Social post that Trump just posted?
Look, this is a significant announcement by President Trump, and once again, an indication that the United States holds the cards here. The president is the decision maker, even as it relates to the Strait of Hormuz. And we heard just yesterday, as these two Navy destroyers passed through the strait, threats from the Iranians claiming that they would fire on these vessels. And the president is very clear here in his post on Truth Social. This will not be tolerated. Threats or strikes against U.S. forces or vessels in the region will have consequences. And so once again, the president is showing who is in charge, not just at the negotiating table, but on the battlefield. And we talk about the Iranian Navy and what is left of it. There was a systematic campaign by the United States and Israel over the past 40 days when Operation Epic Fury was ongoing.
Now, I'm going to cut him off there. Basically, they decimated, the Iranian Navy. I mean, it's gone,
I don't know. What are we going to do? Use a rowing boat and a catapult?
Well, that was the joke from one of our casts, where they, the Iranian Navy, it was just two guys on there and one of them had a slingshot. They're finished. They've got them. They know it. And it's as simple as that. And, Starmer, I mean, my God, he's, here's a commentary on him. We're going to finish on this. I mean, here's a commentary on him. Jesus Christ.
I haven't seen the full, but people say they were very happy with.
Yeah, feedback generally has been really positive.
A couple of people, not the 68 million back home, but sure,
Let's see how the golf trip is going. Sakir has spent the week touring Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain and Qatar, standing with allies, basking in the glow of a ceasefire. A ceasefire he had absolutely nothing to do with. The ceasefire in the Middle East was brokered by Pakistan, not the United Kingdom, not this Prime Minister. But here he is anyway, front row, big smile.
So a real sense of here we are as an ally, standing with our allies when it matters most to them.
Standing with allies when it matters most. After the hard part was done, and here is the tell. His own words, in his own interview. He was asked what he hoped to achieve on this trip and what the overarching impression was. His answer?
The importance, as they see it, as us standing with them as an ally, as a friend of theirs, at a point of need.
That they were very happy to see him. Not that Britain shaped the outcome, not that Britain secured the ceasefire, not that Britain was at the table when it counted, that they were pleased he showed up.
Georgina, I know you've been a big Keir Starmer fan since day one. Somewhat of a hero, a political hero, I suppose you'd say, of yours. So I don't imagine
she isn't a fan of his. Listen to this.
Well, it's not going to get any better anytime soon.
No.
I think Keir Starmer's premiership went catastrophically wrong as soon as he entered number 10, because he's a man who had no love or regard for either our country or our population, Ian. He's a little man who was inebriated by power. It went wrong when he made it his mission to erase our national identity in favour of a globalist agenda. It went wrong when he gone heck for leather to get us back into the EU. It went wrong when he took the British public for idiots, thinking they would believe his lies and overlook his deceit. It went catastrophically wrong when he put in place a two-tier judicial system. It went wrong when he welcomed a tidal wave of illegal migrants into our country with incentives that would make anyone want to swim the channel to receive them, never mind come over in a boat. It went wrong when he made shoplifting legal and we are made to pay the shortfall with higher prices. It went wrong when he force-fed us cultural enrichment and cultural cohesion, both of which have been total disasters within our social structure and have caused unbreachable divisions within our nation. It went wrong when he betrayed our farmers, our waspy women, and over 250,000 children who've been abused by men from cultures where this kind of behaviour is deemed normal. It went wrong when he made it normal for those who don't want to work.
This woman just...
To be honest, John, it went wrong way before that, because he was like, they were piss poor opposition before they even got elected.
Yes.
So, I mean, it was obvious, wasn't it? But it's all right, though. Don't panic. Starmer's got a plan. He's going to make another coalition. He's going to have, a summit. And then he's going to open up a strait that he refused to help open after the war, once it's probably already open again.
Yeah.
Way to go, dickhead.
This guy is... And this is the last article of the night, because what we do is we curate, the things that are out there, so that people can actually see, because sometimes they don't see all these different things, and we curate them, put them together, add commentary to it. And here's one that you sent in.
Before you do, just a very quick one. Who curates his empty platitudes, John? Who tells him these positive verbiage is going to work? Again, only him and his ilk.
It's just lies. It's words. I mean, if it's AI, his AI is hallucinating every minute that he's consulting it.
They're just self-soothing their own egos with we'll just convince ourselves it's all going to be fine. Yeah. You open the straight once it's all finished, mate. What? Because I think the Yanks are probably cracking on with that as we speak.
Yeah, they're going to charge.
I'm sure that the empty shell of a... Nearly called him the C word then. The empty shell of a man will take the credit for that as well. It's some summit somewhere.
He's had it.
The extra willingly willing.
And now there is an investigation into human rights.
I was going to mention that.
The so-called forensic human rights lawyer, Sir Keir Starmer, may well be in breach of international human rights law. I mean, we all know he's an out-and-out hypocrite.
He'd be back to the
Any decision about the future status of Greenland belongs to the people of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark alone.
Listen to this bullshit.
That right is fundamental, and we support it.
Yeah, but when it came to the Chagossians, he couldn't give a fig.
Removal order, then, like, I have to leave the atoll, my homeland. If I don't, I might be in prison for 3 years or pay a hefty fine of £3,000, which is very appalling to me, and I'm very angry about it.
In his attempts to evict the native Chagossians from their homeland to facilitate his surrender deal, a stupid deal that is rapidly unravelling,
It is unraveling, and it's unraveled. And, you know, they're going to try their damnedest to get it back on, but it's finished. It's finished. The Americans have said no. So I don't know where this guy is going. I hope they get slaughtered in the May elections. I hope they are slaughtered. I hope the Greens put them into last place.
I'll give a quick brief on that before we finish. But
Go.
Them Chagossians think they're angry. A removal order. How about removing all the illegals, the nonsense,
That are here?
the rapists, the terrorists? How about moving them from our country first, dickhead? Local elections. So there's another poll out the other day, and it put... I mean, I know we can't take these as gospel. That Ashcroft one was garbage. They always are. But forget it what this one was by. But it's put basically Reform on 320-something seats, hasn't it? So... which makes you look at some of the other polls where they're putting Reform and the Conservatives at joint 20. I'm not so sure. And I actually think they're actually playing down, obviously, Reform in the polls, because what I've done is I've took the vote shares of the 20 local elections 25 and all the by-elections since Labour took power. I put them into AI and told it to crunch some numbers, and they've come to a rough vote share of about 32% across the local elections. So if that replicates nationally, then you're looking at a little bit more than what they're making out with these low 20s and late 20s. So I think obviously they're doing the normal trick, aren't they, of playing it down.
Okay.
Maybe they should do the opposite and play it up, and then people get complacent and think it's a job done, easy peasy. They're not going to do that, though. They're not clever enough.
No.
So we'll see. There's been, in the last couple of weeks, about 8 or 9 local elections. Don't think Labour won any of them. I think
Good.
The week before last, Reform won 3. I think the Libs, the Greens won 1, the Cons held 1. And then last week, I think Reform won 2 and the Greens won 1. Don't quote me exactly on them figures, but it's roughly the pattern of Labour and Conservatives are finished.
Yeah.
And Labour are definitely finished. They're still going to win somewhere, obviously. But when you look at that, how many seats did that
The
last
trend
one? Labour about
is
80 or something, or
Yeah.
100 seats. Conservatives on 80, Labour on 100 and something. Whoa, that's a decimation worse than Boris's majority, I think.
Okay, well, you know, we're going to leave. Let's leave on something funny with this depressing stuff. Let's leave this behind. This is Gary Craig and about the neighborhood flasher.
Yeah, we have a neighborhood flasher. He was actually set to retire, but he changed his mind. In a statement, he said he's decided to stick it out one more year.
I've always wondered, John, right? How come, like, a women get the boobs out and all the men go, way, but if a man does, the police get called?
I know. Oh, a last one. Here we go.
Never fails. Go out looking fabulous, and you see nobody that you know. Go out looking like shit for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden, it's a damn reunion.
It's true.
I always think that's you laughing because it's a bit like your laugh.
It's true. Well, okay. I haven't heard from Amelia in a while, but here it is, the end vid. All right, and it's Amelia.
I think it's worn off. The novelty's worn off a little bit. She's still flying around, like.
Oh, she is. Bye-bye, BBC. End vid. Right. Well, I'm going to thank everybody that's going to be listening to this afterwards, because I know that because we're not on, basically people are going to be catching this later. But it doesn't matter. We like to do the lives because we don't like to edit and all the rest of that stuff because we know how to talk. We can speak to people, and we're not frightened of going live.
Apologies if you were on X. I mean, as I say, it'll still be on there. It's probably going to be an hour later. You could always move over to YouTube, and if we manage to stay on there again.
Stay on there, yeah.
Or other platforms. We're on. What are we on? Spotify.
Spotify, Apple,
Rumble.
So
there's plenty of choice.
Meta. We'll be on Meta.
It's just as we explained, the reach. Like an ant can reach further than tweets on X because they've changed algorithms, and since then it's just the notifications are not going out. We had more listeners when the left had control of X.
They've done something at the start of this year which has just totally changed. And a lot of people have complained about it. It's not just us.
You reckon the algorithms have been changed for more quality productions and the bigger accounts? Again, what's quality and big mean exactly? How does Elon expect us to all be the new media, etc., if no one's allowed to grow?
Yeah.
It'll just be the same people growing.
All the time, yeah, all the same people.
So we're stuck with that same issue, but just a bunch of different big people.
Indeed.
Brilliant.
Well,
really nice one.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday, especially for these lives. We're trying to get everything together. We're going to be rebranding. We're going to come out with another channel, and we'll just see what happens. But X, what?
One more before you go. Now, I did promise we'd have an extra podcast, probably once for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Easter holidays, we've been a little busy, but hopefully this week, fingers crossed.
You're doing a Starmer. You're doing a Starmer. How many U-turns have you done on that podcast? That's it.
I'll just say, we haven't got one. And then if there's one, then...
If there's one, it's a bonus. There you go. Okay, here's Amelia. Bye-bye, BBC. End vid. Bye, everybody. Take it easy.
See you all later.
Wednesday. Oh, she's gorgeous, isn't she?
Say hi, bro.
BBC, not anymore. Watching you is a broke bad chore. We will break Britain's chains. Watch you never again. Enough blatant bias crap. Your time is done. That's a wrap. Sorry, have to be this blunt. Have to say bye-bye, chumps. Harris, Edwards, Saville. Seems like endless drivel. Past racist programming. Any bells? Does this ring? Did you apologize or hide in your modern guise? Where's your moral code? Did your leftist brains explode? Diversity is your death cry. Gave the nation a black eye. Pandering to wokest slop. Now you're on the chopping block. DEI has to die. Innocence don't uglify. Keep kids safe. Start with you. Don't impose your vile worldview. BBC, not anymore. Watching
I have to tell you, okay, if AI is being sold as 3D, okay, I'm going to be in for designing. I'm going to learn.
Bye-bye, chumps. Soon again you'll be in court, 'cause you messed up a report. Tried to screw a president, just had to show how you are bent. £1 billion could now be gone. There's no defense for your con. Where's the cash coming from? How long until you catch on? Dogs are our favorite pets. Why do you cause upset? Bye bye, Trump.